Here I am with my wife and our chums around there. Look, here we are, Toyah and Robert, your deeply unqualified agony aunts, ready to serve you yet another shovel-full pile of useless answers to only a few of your many burning questions.
I'd rather you laughed than didn't laugh, because you're beautiful when you laugh.
Well, but I thought I was a dour character, dear.
Who said that?
Oh, just about everyone for the first 48 years of my professional life.
Well, I think you've proven them wrong in the last 18 months.
So there.
Millennius Music. Robert and Toyah, what can I do to prepare myself for a professional music career as I aspire to become a working musician one day? I have a band, I'm very dedicated, and I'm looking for any advice you can give.
Would you like to begin on that, Lily?
State the aim positively. Realistic, be realistic. 10% of that should be aspirational component of realism. Now, the reason I'm laughing is I have just stolen all of that off my husband's answer. And the reason I did that is when you walk into music, all your good ideas will be taken by those close to you that hear them, who are competing with you in the workplace. There is the first lesson, miscellaneous music. People will nick your good ideas. You'll have to learn to live with it and take it as a compliment. Be true to your dreams and to your reality. My husband is about to tell you something opposite, but you have a right to live your dream. But your dreams may not be on the level of your idols, but they'll be on the level that is right for you. You are dedicated, you obviously know music and your instrument, you are a creative human being. Never give up the dream, because you have a right to that dream.
Very well said. My wife is superb in reminding me to aspire to what is highest in us. Now, first principle, the music comes first. So this gives you the balance to be found between what is true and the ideal and what is realistic. Now, realistically, a very small proportion of musicians will be very successful. Playing is all you need to do to earn a living. So aspiration is fine. What happens when you have to pay the rent? As a young man, I had no problems working in Bournemouth hotels, playing dance music. That was fine for me. I felt this was part of developing a craft. But to go out into the world, aspiring to play your own music and confronting the realism of a music industry, which, quite apart from any good ideas, which as T has just said, your ideas will be pinched from you with a smile. The music industry is based on theft, fueled by greed and riven with exploitation. That's the practicality. I'm going to cough.
Don't worry, it's pollen. We got such bad hay fever. Is that okay, Bug?
Yes. Now, in terms of your personal discipline, playing music is primarily a social activity. Practicing is primarily a solitary activity. You will need to find within yourself a balance between the social and the personal.
Okay, I would say try and be independent if you can. And in this day and age, independence is possible. Now, what my husband was going to say, that you might need a job in the week and then you're the musician of your dreams at the weekends. And I pointed out that for about 20 years, I have only worked at weekends. Now, as a singer, I only sing 4 times a week. I refuse to sing more than that because I want a voice right into my 70s. I don't want to destroy the one thing I'm known for. So there's nothing wrong with only working at weekends, but you might be very, very young and want to just work all the time. I recommend that you try and be independent if you can. Try and own your own recordings and your own copyright. That is the way in later life you can still be earning passive income from your own creativity.
All we ever really get paid in terms of playing music is the privilege of playing music. With his music, there's hope. Now, on the subject of professional musicians, I have a question to ask my wife. What is it like, wife, to be number one in the rock charts?
Well, last week, the phone beeped at about 10 at night on a Friday night, and it said, congratulations, you're number one in the rock and metal charts.
Whoa.
And that's with this album, Blue Meaning, which was 1980, but it's been cited as the beginning of the goth movement. And this production has just been beautiful. You've got the original album, you've got rarities, demos, live work, and then a DVD of me interviewing amazing people from Viv Stanchel to Steve Strange and Derek Jarman. Sorry, a name blindness there. And it also came out on this beautiful vinyl. And today, because we're getting rather excited, there might be a new chart position next week, because this came out on white vanilla vinyl. You're on this.
Oh.
Yeah, this has got Plenty, Sun Up, Re-Entry into Dance, and Mesmerised, which is you, Tony Jabal, and the Guitar Craft
yes.
Orchestra with me. So that's Rarities. It's called Mesmerised, and this is the biggie. I mean, this is just going to do so well. This is the beginning of my career, and it's an absolutely beautiful, beautiful piece of vinyl with It's a Mystery and 8 other tracks. That was the beginning of my major, major success. Out today in the UK, Record Store Day. So
Now, I'm going to interject here. This is on the subject of the music industry. My wife will not bring this up, so I will. For 30 years, her Safari catalogue was actively suppressed by the person who owned it. And it's only since they've sold it, freeing it up, my wife has had the opportunity to return to number one.
I know, it's incredible, but the people that owned it no longer worked in the genre of music that all of this belonged to. So it just got left on a shelf as an asset. So there you go. Daniel Dunaheux.
Daniel, good for Daniel.
Okay, what one question does each of you wish someone would ask, and how would you answer it?
Go.
Dear Toyah, which planet are you from?
That's an easy one. I can answer that. My wife is from the planet Zog.
I believe that a lot of us have come from Sirius, and I believe that's where we return to. And, you know, I think there's going to be living proof that the whole of the Egyptian civilization came from Sirius. Either that or Mars. And the other question, how do you successfully run your own life and your husband's against the tide of how can I put this, against a tide of people who don't read their email? This is very topical to us today, because I had to remind my band that we had a gig in 5 weeks and none of them knew about it, and yet they'd had the Excel spreadsheet with every gig for the next 2 years on. I have to keep an eye on everything and follow my instincts. What's your question that you wish you were asked?
Why were you born?
And how would you answer it?
Well, Daniel's got his one question. He goes on to say,
how would you answer it?
what one question does each of you wish someone would ask? That's my one question. That's Daniel's one question. That's it. I will say no further on that.
Oh, meet my husband, everybody. Meet my husband.
Sour dour.
Ward Smith, is there a genre of music you avoid? Wow. That's a huge question. Instinctively, I don't get emotionally lifted by stage musicals. I hate to say it, but I love when you get on a stage and there's instinct and there's animal nature and there's everything deep in your soul just comes out, and there's unpredictability and spontaneity. So I just have a little bit of a problem with stage musicals.
Well, my wife reminded me that one genre I actively avoid is prog. But I would say I have a lot of difficulty with the Rhine Maidens and the Valkyries and opera in the very widest sense, and vocal music, for example, Stravinsky's work in serialism for voices. That's the musical version, dear.
Do you know I had to learn that?
Oh, lovely.
I loved it.
I cannot imagine how difficult it would be for a singer to learn a serial melody. My own way into music which challenges me is to find an artist, the quality of their voice or the quality of their instrument is my way in. Practical examples, the four last songs of Richard Strauss, which are wonderful songs, but René Fleming brought me into those.
Wonderful.
Schoenberg Violin Concerto. Oh, Movement 1, Polka Allegro. Oh, Hilary Hahn. The quality of tone will get me through the door. It might not always keep me there, but that's my way in.
I love that answer, Robert, because what you're saying is the unique quality of the performer, the unique timbre. You know, if it's unique, it doesn't matter what genre it is.
Yes.
Now, you don't enjoy experimental Stravinsky. I adore it. And throughout the 90s, when I was doing a lot of TV presenting, I was able to travel the world and see incredible choirs who did all of this kind of improvisational singing. And they were so good and they were breathtaking. And even though I would never put that on any of the speakers in this house and listen to it for recreational purposes, to see it done well live is mind-blowing.
Yes, that's another way in. This early Stravinsky I love. Rite of String, Firebird. The cantatas and the mass sacred music is fine. It's the serial which is a bit hard. In a different genre, David Gilmour. He's playing. It might not be my favourite song. It doesn't matter. David Gilmour's tone.
Yeah.
I'm hooked and pulled in.
The thing is, David Gilmour can just strike one note, and you know that you're in the company of someone utterly unique. The tonality, the control, the calm. I mean, David, you know, he just never turns up to 11. He doesn't have to. He can actually blow you away, turned up to 1. He's extraordinary.
And when he goes to 10, that's all that's necessary. Am I mucky, dear?
I don't know how I managed to get lipstick there. This morning, my darling husband left the house with lipstick there, and I managed to persuade him there was none there.
My wife lied to me.
And he went into the gym, and there's a certain wonderful woman in the gym who adores my husband because he always arrives covered in lipstick. But how did I get that there? I haven't kissed you before we did this. Might kiss you now. Mwah. There you go.
Look, I'm punked. You see I'm punked? Who's your bitch, dear?
You're my bitch.
Yeah.
Ron Peterson, this is a fabulous question, Ron, and I think it's directed to you. With live performances on the horizon, how will you handle the anticipated cries of bollocks during your performances, especially considering you can't bear coughing, photography and movement? Bollocks!
I shall respond with equanimity, magnanimity, and the dignity which is expected of me by King Crimson supporters.
Will you actually own up and shout bollocks at all in the middle of any of the shows?
I shall respond as the spirit moves, dear.
Because I think you are completely reinvented as of the last 12 months. I think the real you has been allowed to surface, and you are a rebel at heart, and you are a hard rocker at heart.
Well, as we know, I'm an uncontrollable fireball of rock fury, dear. All I have to do is strap on my guitar and I'm away.
I love it. I love it. Now, before we go into burning guitars, Sydney Jake texted me a few minutes ago, our glorious son, our adopted son, and he said, I've got to mention Sydney Jake's YouTube channel, and also that he's got a few places left to teach guitar, but not for long, because he starts teaching me again very, very soon, and I'm going to take up all of his time, and we're designing a live show together, so we're getting excited. But Sydney does have a few places left for his absolutely brilliant guitar lessons.
Good. Shall we have another look at this #1 hit in rock and metal, dear?
Yes, because I feel like doing some burning guitars. Stay safe, everybody. We're thinking of you. Send in your questions, and we'll see you tomorrow for a really, really wicked Sunday lunch.
Bollocks!
Fripp's my bitch. Fripp's my bitch. Fripp's my bitch.
True, I'm punked out.
Fripp, my bitch.